All right, so I got a wrap design that I'm working on. Really quick one. Really quick one. It's actually fairly simple. Logos just go on there. It's going matte black. It has windows though, so that's the trick. You can't matte black the windows if you still want to see through it. And you can't matte the windows if you still want to see through it because the optically clear over laminate is gloss. And if you do the matte one, it comes out looking like a stained glass window. So let's show you. So let's see. Here's the template. I already unzipped it and everything, but I have to open it. That way I can show you guys kind of how the template comes in, what they look like, the scale. They come in at a 120. Say nice 120. I don't like to work in 120. I forgot what the math is in order to get the full size. I don't feel like going through it. It's easier if I just do it another way. And I show you. I just get rid of all of this stuff. I'm going to get rid of all of this stuff. I'm going to unlock this layer so I can select everything here. Object transform. Oops. Object transform. Scale. And I'm going to go up by 200%. I just want to do that because then it gets it to a 110. And at the 110 scale, if I move the decimal point over one to the right, wait, hold on, let me change this to inches because it's still on document setup. Inches. So, oops. All right. So that way, now that I've got that scaled up and it's set in inches, if I zoom in and I go right here, I'm not going to measure that part. I hate measuring that part. Oh my God, stupid sprinters. All the body lines are not the same level. That's one of the things that I hate about these style vans. And then when you do the installation on here, they'll level them out. It'll look level right here all day on the computer. You see, they say that that's so if I go by the height, see 2.35, so that's 23 and a half inches in height. That's what that would be since it's at a 110 scale. And if I were to try to scale it up and give the measurement out, it just makes it easier. I just move this decimal point one over, I'm done. No math, no pressing buttons. Simpler, easier. And then in front of the client, you just easily go, bam, know the number. And they're like, oh, dang, what? You know it like that? No way. So, it's just that. And I'm going to be all over the place. It's the first one I've ever video like I'm really doing. And I'm new to this. So, take it easy on me. It's my first day. But yeah, that would be the scale right there. So that way you have it at the 110, you scale it. And yeah, like I said, none of these are the same level. If you grab a bubble leveler and you check that top line, this one's going to be the most level line on them usually. And then this is going to be a different level. And then this is going to be a different level. And it's kind of like pick your poison when you install it because they're all going to look weird. On this one, they look the same. But if you use this company, they'd look better. The only problem is they didn't have this year's model that I needed for the job. So, uh, bye, Felicia. Uh, so now we're working on this one. And it's still not fully ready. I've got it scaled up to the 110 scale, but there's still some things. Let's get the direct select tool. Let's deselect everything. Let's click on there. Or click on that. All the solids on the insides. Because the solids are all white. And we want to make those empty. And that gives us our mask here. So then we grab all that. Our design is here. I'm going to grab that and manhandle that up there. Put that all right there. Got there. So if I grab this, I don't need to put the artboard on the top because they don't need to see the top. We're not wrapping the top on this one. We just got to wrap that right there. And look, now you got that. I'll add an extra layer because I like to work with layers in here like it's similar like it's Photoshop. Background. And there, we got that. Do that. Let's reverse this. Let's make sure that's, yeah, process black. I'm not going to go full black because we're trying to do matte black. And matte black isn't black black. So unfortunately, when it comes to vinyl, it's not a black black. Gloss black is going to be your blacker black, and satin black going to look blacker than matte black. And honestly, I would go satin black. Satin black lasts longer than your regular matte wraps as well too. They still last a long time, but you gotta look. It's like a coverage map, kind of like the Verizon map and the AT&T map. The way they used to show you like better coverage here, coverage sucks over here, really nice coverage over here. There's a whole map that shows you like where you're gonna get the most amount of years out of the top parts of your roof, of like your wrap for the hood and the roof and stuff. Because that's mostly like 2 years at the most, is what they say. And that's if you're really high up north where it's nice and cool. You don't get that harsh sun. Closer you get to the equator, the closer you get to that 1 year mark, to maybe a couple of months. You better park that thing inside and wax that thing every week. Like, and not with any kind of wax. Make sure you get the right kind of wax, just in case. Okay, sorry, I'm getting sidetracked over here. Let's see. No, see, I can't see the lines. I don't want to see. I want to see the lines. So let's get this into a more black color, not a black. Yeah, that's better. Yeah, you can see the lines. Now you know what that's there. We'll lock that. We're gonna grab these logos, copy them. I like to do 3 copies. Prepare my copy, and then do a post copy just to make sure it fully copies in. So copy, copy, copy. Paste it in. You don't have to do 3 pastes. That's ridiculous. Then you're gonna have double cut lines and stuff, and your machines are gonna go crazy. Don't do that. All right, we don't need to get ridiculous with it. So, if I remember this correctly, where's the work order picture that they sent me? Let's move that over, just in case there's sensitive information. Yes, it's me. Gee, it's me. Stop. It's me, Gee. What's the gun for? Okay, see, you know who I am now. Just let me in. We're friends, right? Oh, damn. I don't have anything that I can do the two-step verification with. Gee, it's me. It's me. Gee. Yes, cool. I can do it with that. My tablet comes to the rescue. Okay. I logged into the wrong email. There's no sensitive information here. All right, work order, work order, work order. Here it is. All right. So, matte black. 2019 Sprinter Mercedes. Okay, I got that part. Yep, 170 with the high roof. Got that part in there too. Matte finish, black wrap. With same color, different shade, bloom writing on wrap, or gray. See, that's when I would go satin black for the main color, because then that's going to last you longer. And then hit it with the matte black text, because you're going to get those 2 different sheens. They're similar, but different. You know? You know what I'm saying. So, Steph Curry 3-point logo. Oh, man, they didn't send me that logo. So they're still going to have to send me that logo. They're going to get this without that logo, and then they'll send me that logo later. Bloom on the windows, on the sides. Okay. And then Bloom Ivy Home Builders and Realtors on rear. Okay, so that's on the rear. And on sides near rear, Ivy logo, design with purpose, build with passion, Ivy logo. Yeah. Okay. Who's the boss? I wouldn't get that redundant with it. I'd probably put the Ivy at the end, like design with purpose, built with passion, Ivy. Ah. But then it's like Ivy, design with purpose, built with passion, Ivy. Okay, wait a second, Mac. I say it like that, and I can feel that. I like that. Okay, never mind. Never mind. Hey, you know what? I made it work with the way I said it. Okay. No, you got me. I'm sold. All right, let's put this off to the side so that way I can see that over here. And now, so we know the bloom. They want it in a similar color on the side, on the windows. The windows are right here. The window part is in the front. If the picture is correct, I only got one picture and it's kind of terrible picture too. Where'd it go? I think I have it still open on one of these. No, I don't. And I come over here. Truck to be wrapped. Why truck to be wrapped? It's a van. See, and then so I zoomed in. And usually, when with these in that length and the type of van that it is, usually it's just the front one that's glass. And I want to say it's just the front one with glass because it's indented. And that's the only one that's giving me a highlight, showing that the glass is on the other side for the rear doors. And so that's what I'm seeing. That's what I think that spot right there is. So from what I can see from the pixelated image, I want to say that part's the window. This would be the solid portion, how some of them come in for this specific trim on the vehicle. Oh, that's make sure that's on the glass. So we want to go on the glass. I almost want to go bigger than the glass. 2-inch rule. Remember the golden rules of the wraps. Stay 2 inches. Try to stay around 2 inches away from the edges. And then we want this thing to be blue. Okay, they want the logo. He said there was a leaf in this logo. I don't see a. Was he talking about bloom? Maybe the leaf there. I thought he said ivy was there, and it has a thing where the Y goes out into a little leaf thing, kind of like Classy in the South Park, the fractured but whole. Also, you know, those guys just trying to find a way to split it to where later when I put this up on YouTube, it doesn't go, "Hey, what did you just say?" I gotta give it some gap, you know. But I don't see any leaves or anything, so let's see. What was that said? It wants it to say yes. Oh wait, that is it. Okay, let me go back to the work order. Work order, work order, work orders. Work order, work order, work orders. Ivy dot 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 logo. So Ivy Home Builders dot dot dot. And do they want this? I'm gonna assume it's the same. Let's just assume it's the same for now. I'm gonna assume it's the same. Let's say what color it is. Wait, let me move that thing. But I'm gonna do it the same. That way it kind of stays consistent. Stays with the look. And then they can tell me on the revisions on if they want it white, lighter gray, change it up a bit, you know? I don't get hurt feelings if they ask me to change the design. That's kind of what it's for. I don't know why a lot of people end up saying like, "Oh, hey, can you do?" Oh my God. Oh, see, that's why I said, oh. Okay, all right. Oops, and I didn't even need to do that. So let's do that. I'm gonna grab this thing, bring it over here. I'm gonna group that, and let's make that the same color as this. They want the Ivy logo. You know what? I'm still gonna cut that up. I'm gonna cut that bitch up. I don't care. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna have to add a sound to that when I put that up on there. But it's such a habit for doing it. You know, you can't ask me not to. That's bullspit. All right, let's see. Ivy. And what did that font kind of look like? Let's look at that font again. Yeah, use Futura. Futura looks kind of similar to it. Close enough at least for me to want to use it. All right, let's see. Oh, dot, dot, dot. Why not have Futura already up in here? Discover more. How do you not have Futura already up in here? say. Let's download that one. I want to download this one. Might end up using the medium. The medium looks like it might be nice for it. But just in case, I'm going to try them side by side first. And then did I download the bold? I did demi bold. I'm sorry. Demi bold. Okay. So now if I go, yeah, softer. I know that's usually like just use the kerning or something, but I don't feel like using the kerning. I don't feel like using it. It's not something I want to do. This over here. Move this over here. Do this. Get rid of that. Build. No. That look dirty. Yeah, that's right. It sounded good when I say it, but when you see it in writing, it just. And why the dots? Let's see. Steph Curry logo. 3-point. Not gonna lie, if I knew basketball enough, I would know exactly what they're talking about. But I have no clue. And I wish I had enough viewers watching that could talk to me and tell me, is that it right there? Is that it? I don't know if that's it. I can't. Yeah, I wouldn't be able to tell you if that's it or not. But Curry brand logo, Steph Curry 3-point logo. I guess. Let's see what the AI has to say about it. The official Steph Curry logo used for the Steph Curry brand apparel line is an abstract design that incorporates his initials S and C, the number 3, and a grand gesture symbolizing his signature 3-point shot. Oh, I guess that would be it right there. Okay, all right. They just want it because they're fans. Okay. Cheat. I'm going to cheat. I know what this is going to look like, people, but. Where did. But I'm going to do it anyway. Where'd it go? There it is. All right. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, maybe I'm having one too many of these energy drinks, you know. Oh, that's good stuff. All right. So, time to cheat. Where is it? Where is it? There it is. Image trace. Where's my tracing options? Give me that. Advanced. Enhance. Enhance. High fidelity photo, black and white logo. That's what I want. And ignore the white. The white doesn't even need to exist there. And boom. Alright, I'm done. And just like that, I have recreated a logo that was very simple. And it's just because it's a simple logo, I'm just, yeah, that's all I'm doing. I'm not. Okay, so 3 copies. Bring it in. They want these things on the door. All right, and then we'll make them the same color as this too. Wait, does that work order say it didn't need to be a different color than what we're doing? Where's the work order? Where's the work order? Work order, show me a work order. There's this one here. Okay, you got it. Doesn't say what color. I'm assuming that it's all gonna be the same color, so that way they can be incognito. But I'm gonna do one side in what they're kind of suggesting, and then I'm gonna do one side in what I'm kind of thinking, because Uh, no. No, 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 no. Put this, don't, because that does not look good down there. Let me put this right here. Grab this, move this over here. That's the outlines. Group that. Group that. Select this, turn that into the key item, and boom, it's centered. There are so many people that don't know how to do that. So many. We're going to get a little closer to the bar because then we know we can move up and down, but that way we know it's centered in between here. We want to ignore that bar completely, and we want to center. Why am I pointing with my fingers like you can see it? Let me point with the mouse. Ignore this bar because you want to concentrate with this and this. In the vehicle, when you look at it, that's the majority of that. So that's your sign right there if you're going to put stuff in here. And so treat this as one. And because we're going to treat it as one, and we're going to give this space, we're going to grab this, we're going to grab this, and let's center that bad boy right there like that. And then that gives you space right here so that way this doesn't get so cut up by the door. Which, and with how big it is, it doesn't matter, but it's nicer, and the client looks at that and kind of goes, "Oh, that's pretty. You guys dodged it and put it into consideration." Oh, excuse me. And brought it into consideration, something like this. And so this keeps it simple, clean, elegant. It still gives them what they want. I just don't like the two ivies on there. But other than that, I think matte finish, with the same color, different shade of bloom writing on the back. Or gray. Steph Curry 3-point logo on both front doors, small. Bloom on windows. Bloom Ivy Home Builders. Okay, that goes on the back. Hey, Miss Fluffersworth. Okay, yeah, no, I'm, but right now, okay. You know what? I actually kind of like that to where I'm gonna keep that like that. I'm not gonna do the other side in anything different. So, like I said, it's surprisingly very easy. And let's make this even easier. Reflect. Okay, I know. Now it says mold. Reflect. Okay. Reflect. Okay. And boom, there. I flipped it to the other side. And then we're just gonna, when we install it, we'll measure it. But for now, it's eyeball. And they're both gonna hit different on each side. Don't expect that to be the same. Okay. And then let's grab that. And that we don't flip because, yeah, that's the same thing. Well, same thing with the other ones. We don't flip. Yeah, there it goes. Oh, yeah, those windows got to be black. Unlock those. Hey, bam. Get rid of that inside. Get rid of that inside. Grab that. Get rid of that inside. And now we got all those lines and everything's back. And let's lock all those layers up again. Bam. There. Start. And the windshield wipers are still on there. That's all like it's supposed to be. What's the back supposed to say? All right, time to bring that back up. And let's bring this over here and put that over here so I can read that on this side. Actually, let's put that on the bottom half. I still got the chat on here. Bloom Ivy Home Builders. Back, it just seems like they just want the logos. I got an ideas. And then the website. And the website is for the Bloom people, not the Ivy people. And so, cause I feel like they're the main people. Let's go there. Ivy, let's put you down over here. We'll group that bad boy. Grab this thing. We'll group that bad boy. And no one needs that emblem on there. Let's get rid of that emblem here. At least that, in reality, I can take that off. I've had designers, when they grab the template, they will remove or move a whole wheel well. Like they're like, oh, this right here bothers me. And so they'll move that thing like 2 feet over to the front or 2 feet over to the back, or some kind of random measurement where it moves it off into a different direction. And it's kind of like, we can't do that in real life, right? Why did you move the tire and not the artwork? Like, what was your line of thinking there? Like, what did you expect we were going to do? Magneto that thing into position? Like, what? It's not gonna work. I hope you guys understand what I'm trying to say with that. Like, I get a lot of people that look at me all confused and wonder why I'm so salty about that. But you know how 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 frustrating that is, and how hard that is to comprehend that you even would think of some like just how. I mean, I know I have my moments, but Jesus, like right there, like I forgot to hold enter, but then I saw it and then I hit enter. Oh, I don't like the way that landed right there, but we'll take those off. Who needs windshield wipers? No, I'm not gonna take those off. That's just gonna have to be like that is. Mm-hmm. And then we're gonna go ahead and grab this thing over here because we need one of these. And then let's change that to www dot hers. And the reason why I like to do the capital letters is it separates the words for when you're driving down the road. It just makes it easier to spot and read those words individually than if they were all the same height. It's just a jumble of letters. So that's always a good tip there. The license plate is much bigger because that's the European license plate. So let's do that. And then now, where's my tracking? Whenever it updates, I gotta redo all this stuff. Character. No, of course it'd be down in type. Then it goes into character. All right. Oh my God! I hear the dogs. What are they getting into? Oh, I want this one. Show me my options. I need more options, even though I'm going to use this one up here and not the one down there. Oh, that's going to take forever. 1 stage. Enter. And then we're going to go like this. And then that goes up a little bit. We're going to back up for a second so that way we can go ahead and bring that over here, replace that, so that way we know we got that size with that spacing over here. We can outline this now. And this still makes it big while avoiding these edges and these curves down here. We avoid that license plate with it not being too big, and we can be tight here, but it still gives us breathing room. So that way when it gets produced and it gets put on there, we've taken into consideration all those other factors. And same thing here, that emblem that can come off that has no things in it. This one right here, unfortunately, that has to stay on. I know some are going to be like, unfortunately, I love my Mercedes logo on my car. Well, I'm sorry, I like my car to be my car. That's why I decided to customize it. That way it doesn't look like something you can pick up off the lot or buy on Amazon. You know? That's why we do this. Can't buy this stuff online. You know, we customize it to where you're not going to get this stuff online. Anyone can wrap your car one color, but we can do something different. So like something that I was thinking with this one, but we got to see what they think, was we have the satin print material. I mean, the satin color change material, but we print directly on it. And you give a slight blur to it, just to the outside. Because they want something subtle, and they want something that makes it like it's blooming out from it. And that's why they want the colors similar. Like they have their vision in their head of how they want to do it. And so I was thinking, like, if you give that little softness to it, just a touch, not enough to make it look like really blurry, but if you give it that soft touch on the edge, and then it's kind of like it slowly forms into it. And if you could do it possibly with the dissolve layer styling on there, that probably would give you more of that little stippling effect that gets thicker. You probably do it with a halftone effect too, but halftone I don't always like. I like the randomness. So that, like for this one, I would rather have it be random than uniform and toned. Uh, so that's how I would do it, and just kind of like soften, just enough to where it would just be enough to soften those edges and give it a little touch. And it would be printed directly on the satin. And with the solvent printers, even when that satin fades, there's a chemical reaction that happens to the vinyl. And so it changes the look. Oh, it would be sick. And I even think that would be sick on if you do it with other colors, if we were to do it. Just got no biters. We got no biters. But somebody will let me get creative with the car enough to where I can do that kind of stuff one day. But till then, we'll see what happens. But I appreciate you guys staying here and listening to me. Yeah, here it is. It's all done. That is one of the jobs, and yeah, they didn't ask for any information of that on the side, so that's what it is. Nice and simple, very clean. Actually, you know what? Let me see. Let me see this. I don't. Did I do that too close? It just looked too close because I was far away. That's fine. Yeah. Yep. You know, scaled, it's 110, so that way when it goes into the print or when it goes to plot, depending on how they decide to finalize their design and how they do it, it's just bumped up to 1,000%. You can do it in the machines because, of course, Illustrator can't do everything at a 1-to-1 scale. So you kind of got to switch over from Illustrator to one of the print programs that can do it. And that's a bunch of different ones. Flexi, CorelDRAW, and these are ones that actually have plugins and connect to the machines that print. So that's what I would say is like after you do that, bring it into there, and then you would do it at the 1-1 scale after there, but you scale it up to 1,000% in order to get the 1-1 scale. So that way makes it easier. But double check your measurements. Sometimes I don't always double check my measurements, especially with lettering. So like I would measure for the wrap so that way I know I'm getting enough material. But for the lettering, usually the templates are really close. And sometimes it sucks because then you don't get it right and you don't do all the measurements for the body lines and everything, which can be quite tedious. I know, but it's better to double check. Then you end up having to recut letters, redo them. And it costs a lot. And in the end, it's not the material that costs a lot, it's the time. Because then you got to think about it. Whether it's your employee or you doing it, it's that hourly rate. That means it takes another hour or so to do it. So just that extra 15 to 20 minutes to measure it is going to stop somebody from doing an extra 2 hours of work. And that's going to be where you lose the most amount from what we have seen in the shop is the labor. So yeah, just do that, you know. And I mainly say that because I put up a video just recently and it was half inch off. And I know the disclaimer says 2 inches. Well, they're within their rights. But I was still mad, you know. I was still mad. Like the Mercedes BR, I mean not Mercedes BRZ, because I'm looking at the Sprinter. The way back in the day, I did this one. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Where did it go? Where is it? There it is. Where is it? Design collection. It's in the design collection. Where is it? No, no. This one here. The Scion FRS. That one right there. That template, it looks really cool, but I was so mad because it wasn't to what they say of 2 inches off. That was 4 inches off in the height and about 3 inches off in the length. So that template is still the Bad Raps template, but I ended up grabbing that picture after the car came in, got that car after it came in, took pictures again of the car and remade the template, redesigned it completely in order to fit it to the vehicle. Because in the end, when I distorted this image of the template in order to get it to fit the actual vehicle, something wasn't lining up right. So I had to take the images again. And I don't know what it is because when I looked at the images, they still looked really straight. But for some reason, something on that one that they have was not coming in correctly. So when I took it and it still seems really straight on, but mine you can on my camera on my picture you can see that it's not as tall when I took the pictures and scaled it up, and it fit better all around. I don't get what happened with that one. So that's why it's like double check, always make sure. As much as these templates say 2 inches off, you never know. The designer there could have had a bad day. Somebody took all of his coffee creamer and he's just in there flipping tables like, I hate this. You know, like I said, because I've worked with so many of them and they're amazing. And then you get one bad one. And like I said, this poor guy, probably had a really bad day that day and just couldn't take it no more. So, but, all right. Like I said, I appreciate you guys listening, hanging out with me. Talk to you guys later.